Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to learn about this solution. What is solution? What are the composition of solution? How to calculate the concentration of solution? That we will learn. In addition to that, if the time permits, we will also learn about colloidal and suspension. That we have learned earlier, that mixture is classified into two categories. One is called homogeneous, another is called heterogeneous. Homogeneous can be your solution or alloy. What is alloy? In detail we have learned earlier. Now heterogeneous can be colloidal solution or suspension. Okay, so solution means it is true solution or simply solution. Colloid is also called as colloidal solution, but the term colloid will always associated with that solution. Okay, otherwise if solution means it is our true solution, also called as true solution. So whether solution is used or the true solution term is used, both mean the same thing. So let us continue with the solution. Last day we have started. This solution is a homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture means their particles are uniformly distributed throughout the mixture. So it is homogeneous mixture whose particles are uniformly distributed. So write that term also. Whose particles are uniformly distributed. Sometimes it starts dancing rather than writing properly. See, automatically size increasing, decreasing, all those problems. Okay, so a student, this is the first characteristic, that it is homogeneous mixture of solution. Now, while discussing the homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture, we have learned that particle size are very small for homogeneous mixture. That's why they are not able to settle, and they are so small that they are even not visible with our naked eyes. Okay, so if we consider the particle size of this solution, then it is even lesser than 1 nanometer. So right, these particles, so particle size is lesser than, are you getting this symbol? It is lesser equal. Okay,
Yes,
student, 1 nanometer. This nm indicate, it is called as,
Nanometer.
yes,
nanometer.
the term nano is a prefix. So 1 nanometer means it is 10 to the power minus 9 of meter. Like you are already knowing that if we are taking, say, millimeter, what do we mean by millimeter? It is 10 to the power minus 3 meter. Okay, student? In the similar fashion, this nano is a prefix which indicate it is 10 to the power minus 9. Means what? It is 1 by 10 to the power 9 times of meter. Or if you want to realize, you can say over 1 you will have to put 90. Okay, so this way you have to understand. Means particle size is very small.
Yes,
This
sir.
particle size means the diameter of the particle is your very small. Because of this small size, it is not visible with our naked size. So its particle are not visible with naked eyes. Means openly, if you want to watch this particle, you cannot observe. Example, if you add very small amount of sugar in water so that the color of water have not changed, can you find or can you see the small particle of sugar or
No, sir.
No,
identify whether sugar is added or not? No, you cannot
no.
identify with your eyes because the sugar particles are not visible. Just by tasting, you may identify, okay, some sugar is being added. Okay, so it means that. So particles are very small, so it is not visible. Okay, it is possible that if large number of particle is being added, then color of the solution have changed. Then you may say something is being mixed. Okay, so
And
it is mixed.
goes down.
So this naked eyes visibility is not possible for the solution. Okay, student. Again, the other thing that we have learned in homogeneous and heterogeneous was that whether the path of light is visible in this solution or not. So even the path of light is also not visible.
Not visible.
Path of light,
Part of light is not visible in homogeneous mixture.
yes, is not visible.
And it does not give tintical effect.
Yes, when the path of light is not visible means Tyndall effect is not shown. Tyndall effect itself tells that the path
The
of
light
light
passes through
in
it.
any medium is visible if the medium is scattering the light. And this scattering can occur if the particles of medium is of the significantly bigger size. Okay, so that's why, so it is also called as no Tyndall effect. No effect found in solution. Okay, student. The other thing, even homogeneous and heterogeneous that we have learned was, if we leave the heterogeneous mixture for a longer time, the particles get settled because of its bigger size. But in homogeneous, this is not possible. Means for the solution, if you leave this solution for a longer time, its particle will not settle down. Means there will be no sedimentation. These are the characteristics that you have to keep in mind. No sedimentation. Another thing, if you want to separate it, it cannot be separated by the filter because of its smaller particle size. So write that. So cannot be separated by filter, cannot be by filtration or filter.
Filtration.
The process of separating the mixture by using filter is called as filtration. So a student means what? If you are taking sugar and water mixture and putting in the filter paper, the sugar and water both will pass through the filter paper and you cannot separate this sugar from the water by filtration. But if you are taking sand and water, then sand will remain inside the filter paper, but water will go to the other side. Okay, so that we will draw also. Example, let me draw this figure. If I am taking, say, filter paper and filter paper is placed in a funnel. Okay, you have placed the filter paper. So this is the filter paper. Here T have missed. Now you are going to put sand and water here. Say sand particles are there. I'm considering this sand and water first for your ease of understanding. Then you can observe more detail what is filtration, we will learn later. Then you will observe that the water get collected here and sand will remain here. So water. So these water particle can pass through these pores. There are large number of small holes. The hole size of this filter paper is smaller than the particle size of sand, but bigger than that of the water. Therefore, only water is able to come out. So only water. But sand remain in the filter. So sand remain in filter. Because of why? Since larger particle size.
Because sand particles are little larger.
So because of this larger particle size means the sand cannot pass through the small pores or holes of the filter paper. It will remain inside the filter paper. Okay. But if I am taking say sugar and if we are taking sugar and water, then we will observe
Sugar will be dissolved in water, so it will come easily.
Sugar
filter
size is also smaller than the pore size of this filter. So even this sugar particle will also enter into the pores of
Because
the,
it gets dissolved.
yes, it is uniformly dissolved. So both sugar and water will come out of this filter paper. So this way we are observing that this is our sugar as well as water. This will come out. So this is what the solution, this was what the heterogeneous mixture. Sand in water is heterogeneous mixture. So this filtration can be used to separate the water from the sand, but this water and this sugar particle, these things cannot be separated because both of them will pass through the filter paper and come out. Okay, student? So it is what we have to keep in mind. So this was filtration is possible. Here no filtration. That is no filtration. Filtration means separation of their constituent particles. So filtration of sand from water means they can be separated. Another thing that we have learned was because of the bigger particle size, the heterogeneous mixture gets settled at the bottom, but homogeneous mixture never settled. So solution it will never settle. It will never settle when left undisturbed for a longer time. Okay, students, so these are the few important properties of solution that we have to keep in mind. Example, already we have learned earlier. So let us take
So
some.
can you scroll down?
So example of this solution, the very first one is sugar in water. A student, this sugar is added in a smaller amount and it is called as solute, and the water is present in larger amount. So entire mixture is called solution, and the substance which is present in a smaller amount is called solute, and the substance which is present in larger amount is called solvent. Okay, so this sugar is your solute and this is your solvent, and this entire one is the mixture. This mixture volume or mixture is called as, this entire mixture, sugar in water mixture, is called as your solution. So student, solution is what? Solution composed of, or solution consists of solute and solvent. Okay, so solution is heterogeneous mixture which contain solute and solvent. So in term of solute and solvent, we can also define it. Solution is homogeneous or heterogeneous? Student, it is homogeneous. That we have to keep.
Homogeneous
I have used the
mixture.
term heterogeneous to check you people whether you people are responding or not. हमने अभी बोला heterogeneous, आप लोगों ने किसी ने ध्यान ही नहीं दिया. It means you people are not taking care. So solution is a homogeneous. Good. Mixture of solute and solvent. So these solute and solvent are the components of solution. Components or parts, you can say. So the part which is present in larger amount is called solvent, and the part which is present in a smaller amount is called solute. And these solute particles are uniformly distributed and they lies between the interparticle space of the solvent. So they are called as, they are well dissolved. Okay, so write it here. Solutes are dissolved in solvent. Okay, means solvent is able to dissolve the solute. So right, what is this solute? How to identify this? So the substance present in a smaller amount?
Solvent substance present in larger amount.
Yes. Example, here what we have taken was the sugar. But solvent is the substance which is present in larger amount. Means this solvent is like the medium in which the solute get dissolved. So it gets dissolved. And it dissolves the solute. Okay, this itself get dissolved, means get suspended or get basically trapped in between the interparticle space of solvent. Student, any doubt then please ask. अभी आपको इतना समझ में आया? What is solute?
Yes, sir.
What is solvent? Though last day I had also mentioned these things. So entire solution consists of the two parts. One part is called solute, another is called solvent. Since it is a mixture, so the substance taken in a smaller amount is called as solute, while the substance which is present in larger amount is called solvent. So
Solvent.
solute get uniformly distributed and get trapped between the interparticle space of solvent. So this process is called dissolution. Okay, but in suspension it is not dissolution, it will just replace the other solvent particle. There we will use the disposed phase and disposed medium, not the solute and solvent. So student, solution means solute and solvent, it simply means, but the solute size is of lesser than 1 nanometer. Okay, lesser or equal than nanometer. So that's why they are able to float or get trapped between the solvent particles interspacing. Okay, so this is what we have to keep in mind. So these are the things regarding the solution we have to keep in mind. Now, what are the various types of solution? Here I had just taken one, sugar in water, but considering the various solute and the solvent, it is classified into various types. Okay, like it may be your solid, maybe your liquid, maybe your gas, means solution. So solution type means what is present in larger amount. What is the type of solvent? That gives the type of solution. Say solid in liquid means the solid is solute and liquid is solvent. Okay, so whatever coming in a smaller amount, that is taken first, and what is the solvent, that is taken next, which is in larger amount. Okay student, so here we have understood that solute are the substance or component which is present in a smaller amount. Okay, and it get dissolved in solvent. So get dissolved in solvent. And this solvent which is present in larger amount, it is acting as the medium and it dissolves the other. It get dissolved itself. There is a difference, get dissolved, and it dissolves other. what is that? It dissolves the solute. This thing we have to keep in mind. Now, depending on the amount of solute and solvent, there are different types of solution, and we define a term called concentration of solution. So see, what are the various types of solution depending on the amount of solute and solvent? Say gaseous solution.
Yes, sir.
Student, you always have to keep in mind, say if I am talking for the gaseous solution, it means our solvent is gas.
Gas.
Okay, if I am talking say liquid solution, so this solvent is which is present in
Liquid.
larger amount, so
Oh,
it is liquid, so that overall phase of the solution is liquid. Solid solution, it is also possible, so it is the solvent here. So solvent means the phase of solvent decide the phase of the solution because it is present in larger amount. Now let us take few example that we have to keep in mind. So if we are taking the gaseous solution, means one gas is mixed with the other.
yes, sir.
So gas can mix with this gas. Example, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, all these things are present in air. Air
Yes,
is a
sir.
good example of gaseous solution. Okay, student? So see, it is written here. It's a mixture of oxygen, nitrogen, gases in air. You just add this one. The next, if you are taking the some liquid suspended or liquid particle mixed in gaseous medium, example, in our environment, whatever the air we are getting, that is not totally dry. It also contains some amount of water vapor. How you can say like that? Because say while you are drying the clothes, where that water is going, whether it is going to drain into your bathroom or pipe, no, it get vaporized into the atmosphere. Means water get converted into a smaller vapor particle and it will continue to float in this air medium. Okay, because of this presence of water in air medium, we define a term called humidity. You might have heard today the climate is quite humid. What does it mean? The water particles are present more in our air, so that's why it is more humid. So it is possible that liquid is present in gas. Okay, so when liquid is present in gas, gas is the solvent, it is in larger amount, so the phase of the solution will be same as that of the gas because some of the water particle is just suspended. So water vapor is present in air. That is the example of this. In addition to that, various other things can also be framed. Say this camphor, sorry, chloroform. Chloroform is what? It is a liquid particle. Chloroform, you will learn later, this chloroform is CHCl3. This is the chemical formula of chloroform. So this chloroform liquid easily get vaporized. If the bottle is left open, then all the liquid will get vaporized into the vapor form and come into atmosphere. Means it will form a gaseous mixture. Some of the solid in gas. A student, the other thing that you may observe, so you are taking the Odonil ball, okay, and you are just placing it in your bathroom or in your bedroom. You are observing that the size of Odonil ball or the camphor ball is automatically reducing. Why? Where it is going? Whether it first converted into the liquid? No. Student, just that solid particle itself vaporizes. Okay?
Is
That
vaporizing.
process is called as sublimation. So through the process of sublimation, camphor solid particles just enter into the air. Here only nitrogen gas is written, but it is possible to just go into the air. So camphor is the solute and air or nitrogen is the solvent. Okay, students, so this we have to keep in mind. So if you have to tell about the solute and solvent, so camphor is the solute, which is solid, and nitrogen or air is the solvent. And overall, camphor in air is called as the solution. Okay. In the similar fashion, liquid solution can also be kept in mind. Say some of the gaseous particle get dissolved in liquid. What is the example? The best example is dissolved oxygen. What the aquatic animal is getting for their survival means air mixed in water or oxygen dissolved in water. Okay. So the solute which is present in lesser amount, it is the air or oxygen. So this gas, say oxygen or air, is dissolved in liquid water. Say oxygen dissolved in water. Okay, this is the most important example that you have to keep in mind. The next, liquid and liquid, so many, like alcohol dissolved in water. Okay, so one of the acid is added in water, say few drop of or few amount of acid, say 10 ml is added in half liter of water. Okay, that way. So ethanol dissolved in water, it is the liquid in liquid. Some of the solid also dissolved in liquid. What is the example that we have already learned? So sugar in water, sugar is what? The glucose, here it is written. Or salt in water. So these are the common things that you have to keep in mind. These are solution. Keep in mind, you cannot say here sand in water. No, sand in water will form suspension. Okay, student? But salt totally get dissolved. So salt in water is one of the solution. Now coming to the solid solution. So some of the gas trapped in between the solid pieces. While the metals are manufactured, so various gaseous particles get trapped in between the solid pieces. Sometimes you are also observing that some of the metals appear as nearly having cavity or a small cavity. So that cavity contains the gases. Okay. So solution of hydrogen in palladium, here it have taken this example. Hydrogen get absorbed over the palladium. Palladium is a metal and it have the tendency to adsorb, basically not absorb, better thing is adsorb. So that get adsorbed inside the palladium. Another example, the common example you can take, air in a sponge ball. If the sponge is of the uniform, say size, means the whole size of a sponge is uniform, then the air get trapped in that. Like in your the foam that we are using over our sofa or over our bed, that is a sponge that contain large amount of holes to enter the air. So that's why it appear spongy. Okay. Liquid in solid. So liquid in solid, where is that? Say mercury is a liquid that you are knowing, and this mercury can stuck over the other substance, so that say over the other metal. So this mixture of, or basically the solution of mercury with other metal is called amalgam. So it is, here it is written as amalgam of mercury with this solution. If you are taking any other solution, in that this mercury can get dissolved. Solid in solid, say whatever the alloy that we have learned, that is for the metal and metal, but it is possible to take some non-metal with the metal and forming the uniform solution. That is also possible. So alloy is also an example of this one. Okay, so these are the various examples that you have to keep in mind. So students, some of the common example you must keep in mind. Okay, like ethanol in this. Another important, say, solid in.
Sir, what is the meaning of palladium?
Palladium is a metal, okay, like iron. Palladium is also a metal, but that have the characteristic that it is able to absorb air or oxygen over its surface. So solid in liquid, example I am writing, those example which are going to ask to you most commonly in your academic. The example is our sugar in water. Okay, student. So sugar in water. Your lemonade that you are taking, the other important example that we have to keep in mind, whether lemonade is not, yes, some of the salt if we are adding, it is also the solid in liquid. The other important is called as tincture of iodine. So this term is important. Tincture of iodine. A student, this tincture of iodine this is very important. So this iodine is existing in the solid phase. So solid iodine particles. Particles. So these are very small in size, like sugar. It is also a very smaller size. Okay. These smaller size iodine is able to dissolve in alcohol. Here it is not water, but this tincture is always made in alcohol. A student, we have learned, if I am talking about the water, water always means chemically it is representing what? H2O. In the same way, if you are taking the alcohol, so alcohol is chemically means it is also a compound. It always represents C means carbon, 2H5OH. This is ethanol I am taking. It is possible to have slight amount of methanol and propanol also. You will learn in class 10th carbon and its compound. So alcohol always mean this one. Okay, this we have to keep in mind. So this is the chemical formula. So this alcohol is present in larger amount. So this alcohol is acting as the substance which is present in larger amount is called solvent. Yes, and this alcohol is in liquid form. But this iodine is in solid form and it is present in a smaller amount. So this iodine is what? Solute. Very good. So this is solvent is in liquid phase. Means if I am taking the mixture, I can get like this. So whatever the smaller particle that we are taking, and in that the other particle, let me draw this as water in like this one. These are the water particles. And it contain the smaller iodine particle. So this is called as tincture of iodine. These are your iodine and this is our water. So this solution, this is your solute and this is your solvent, and this mixture is called as your solution. Okay, student. Now here we have observed that solute is dissolved in solution. So right, in solution, solute is dissolved in solvent. The amount of solute may differ because, say, all of you are allowed to form sugar solution, say sugar and water mixture or sugar water solution. Some of you may add just 50 gram of sugar in 1 liter of water. Some of you may add 100 gram of sugar. Some of you may take 80 gram of sugar. Some of you may take 200 gram of sugar. Means the amount of sugar that is able to dissolve in water, that can vary. So if we consider the amount of solute dissolved in solution, that decides the sweetness. How much sweeter is the solution? That depends on how much sugar you have added. If more sweeter, that indicate you have added more sugar, means more solute is added. So how to tell these things, say more solute or lesser solute? So to tell that more solute is dissolved in a given solvent or given amount of solution, a term called concentration is used. So concentration of solution means the amount of solute dissolved in given amount of solution or solvent. So this amount may varies. But this solvent means the amount of solute that we are dissolving in a given amount of solvent, means this solvent we are taking fixed. Example, say one person is just adding 100 gram of sugar in 1 liter of water, but your other friend may take, say, 50 gram of sugar in 1 liter of water. In this case, what we are getting? This is containing more solute in
Equal
same amount of solvent, and this is containing lesser amount of solute. You may write both have same amount of solvent. We are taking the amount of solvent same. Amount, the term amount means what? Amount means the mass or volume we can take. So this term says same amount. So this amount may be expressed in the term of mass or volume. So amount may be in term of mass or volume. Maybe some other ways also. Okay, say number of particles one may consider, or the moles that we will learn later. Moles may also be considered. So considering the amount of solute dissolved in given solvent, we define a term called concentration. So this gives concentration. So concentration of solution. So keep in mind, a student, here the concentration is always considered for the solution. Okay, but here we have to take the amount of solute in given amount of solvent, or even the solution may also be taken. That you will learn in higher standard, more detail. But right now we have to just understand what is concentration. So a student, concentration simply means how much solute is dissolved in given amount of solvent or the solution. So this way we come to the topic called concentration of solution. So this is the topic. So what is this concentration of solution? Everything we are going to write once more in our next page. A student, any doubt, then please ask. Otherwise I will go ahead defining the concentration of solution. अभी हमने आपको बताया कि कंसंट्रेशन वर्ड कहां से आया. कंसंट्रेशन वर्ड ये बताता है कि किसी भी सॉल्यूशन में कितने सॉल्यूट हैं और कितने सॉल्वेंट है, ये इन चीजों को बतलाएगा. अभी हम लोगों ने ये पढ़ा है कि कोई भी जो sorry, what has happened?
Sir, unknown.
Oh, something went wrong. Everything have went wrong. It is now getting deleted, everything. I was trying to copying it, but it have gone wrong. How again? If I'm just deleting it, okay, leave it. I will write it again. I don't know what has happened to this one.
Sir, read.
I think earlier you might have written.
Sir, in video it will be there. Yes, sir.
What is there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, in media. This one.
It will be there, sir.
Okay.
In video.
Yes, yes, yes. You
Yes,
can, yes, yes, yes. Correct.
Recorded video.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wherever it is being recorded, there you can just see it. Okay, student.
Okay.
So don't
Yes,
worry
sir.
for that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Color picker. So students, we are going for concentration of solution and we are going to define this. So what is concentration of solution? So just we have learned a solution always consists of the two parts. One is called solute and another is called
And
as
solvent.
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 Yes. So if I take say 10 gram or say 50 gram of sugar dissolved in, now I am taking in the term of mass. So water can also be measured in the term of mass also. It is possible. Say 200 gram of water. Okay, student. So 50 gram is what? 50 gram is the mass of solute. But what is this 200 gram indicate? 200 gram is mass of the solvent. Now, if I want to know what is the mass of the solution, since it is the mixture, means two kind of these things are present together. So what will be the mass of mixture? Yes, tell me. These together have to be taken. So this can
250.
give us the mass of solution.
250 gram.
Very good. So this will be 50 gram plus 200 gram. So it become 250. Okay, student. So mass wise, we should very clear. Even the mass of solution is sum of the mass of solute and solvent. Even volume wise, will the volume increase? No. Solute lies in the interspacing of solvent, so volume hardly increases. So volume cannot be added in general. But it is possible that more volume are taken and they are not just going in interspacing, then volume will also get added. Okay, student? Now, what is this concentration? The term concentration, right? Concentration of a solution. What is this concentration of a solution? What is the definition? So this concentration of a solution is nothing but it tells how much solute is dissolved in given amount of solvent. So that tells us how much solute dissolved in given amount of solvent or solution may also be taken. Okay, student? So concentration of a solution simply means the amount or how much solute is present in given solvent. So, right? So concentration is defined as the amount amount of solute in given amount or per unit. Sometimes the given amount is always defined as per unit, that we have learned in physics. So per unit solvent, or one may use the solution also. Okay, so whatever the given amount of per unit means, you are taking a given amount, just only 1 kg or 1 liter. In that solvent or solution, how much solute is there? It is this one. So this amount is possible in mass or volume, and this ratio can be expressed in the term of percentage. Therefore, this concentration, it can be expressed in various ways. What they are? Like, this can be expressed in, say, first I am writing, say, amount of solute in given amount of solvent, means mass of solute and mass of solvent I am taking. Okay, so that is called as mass percentage. It is possible to take solute in the term of mass and solvent in the term of volume, then it is called as molarity. Molarity, normality, various other things, but you need not mug up those things. So what is in your level, that I will write only, that is your mass percentage. So mass by mass percentage of solution. So mass by mass, write this, or simply mass percentage or the second one is your volume percentage. The next one, you just write it, but it is not going to ask. One is called as the mole fraction. How much mole is there? The other one is considering the mole per unit volume, or means per liter of the solvent or solution, it is called as molarity. The other one is called as normality. The other one is also there, called as molality. It is molarity. So many more are there, but we have to learn or focus about these two things only. Here, the mass by mass percentage, what is this and what is this? This we will learn. So this is in class 11 you will learn, even not in your class 10th. Okay, student. So what is this mass by mass percentage that I am going to write? So what is this mass by mass percentage? So write mass percentage so this mass percentage generally denoted by m, it is like this one, or first percentage sign then m. Okay, this indicate the amount of or the ratio of or the percentage of mass of solute to the mass of solvent or solution, but better to take the mass of solution. So it is basically the mass by mass percentage of solution. So the full form is like this one, mass by mass percentage of a solution. It is this way. So what is the formula? So mass by mass percentage here you have to take the mass of solute. That mass of solute have to be divided by mass of solution, and this entire ratio have to be multiplied by 100. Okay, student, it is this one. So percentage itself indicate in the term of 100 we are going to write it. Okay, and at the end you have to use this symbol also. Okay, like this is indicating the unit. So this we have to keep in mind. The next one is called as volume percentage. In place of mass, if you are taking the volume, you can get the volume percentage also. So let me write the volume percentage, then I will solve some of the numerical. Volume percentage. A student, It is nothing but same as mass percentage, but here in place of mass, I have to take the volume percentage denoted by V% or percentage V. So, but here we have to keep in mind, this is not entire volume percentage. In numerator means the solute we have to take in the term of the mass, and solution we have to take in the term of volume. So though it is the mixed one, but normally called as volume percentage, it is possible to take the volume of the two together, means the volume by volume ratios. So better to use this as, this is asked commonly, and numerical are based on the first one. The second one is also in your syllabus. So it is your mass by volume percentage. Of a solution. A student, what you will take here, if anyone is asking to you for the volume percentage or say mass by volume percentage, I am using this symbol rather than writing entire percentage. You can use this symbol. What will the formula? It will be the mass of solute in numerator is to be divided by mass of solvent, which is in denominator, and since it is in the term of percentage, so again this have to be multiplied by 100. Okay, student? So this is what we have to keep in mind. So these are the formula. Applying this formula, questions are framed, and those questions are important. So one of the numerical is asked, and again it will be asked in this examination or incoming examination. So how the question is framed over this formula? So write a question.
Sir, can you show the previous page?
Okay, just write along with me. Bhuliye nahi. Even that's why I'm also writing very slowly so that you can also write it.
Last line.
Last one, sir.
Okay. See, write it. Volume percentage means mass by volume, it means. It is possible to take the volume of solute and volume of solvent also. So a student, we will analyze this formula a bit more. For that I have to copy this to the next page.
Over, sir.
Yes, sir, over.
Okay, very good. It is difficult sometimes to copy. You are getting now every time it is being missed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me write ahead. A student, so we are talking for the, say, mass by mass percentage. What we have learned? We have learned that this is mass of solute by mass of solution, and this have to be multiplied by 100. So this much percentage. So this is the entire description. I may denote this in the term of mass percentage, means it is like this one. It is given by what is the mass of solute. So use the symbol M. In that, in a small u, write here solute. Now see, what is this? This is mass of solution. A student, just we have learned that if this solution is containing sugar and water, and this sugar is just 50 gram and this water is say 100 gram, then what will be the mass of this solution? It will be 50 plus 100.
150
It
gram.
is going to give us 150 gram. Okay, student. So this is what this is denoted by M of solute. This indicate M of solution, mass of solution. If the mass of this solvent is solvent, so how we are getting the mass of solution? Mass of solution is equals to mass of
50 by 150.
solute plus mass of solvent. Means this mass of solution is addition of the mass of 2. Therefore, this formula can be modified as mass of solute divided by mass of, denote in this symbol, solute plus mass of solvent. That will give us the mass of this solution. This have to be multiplied with 100, that much percentage. So this we have to keep in mind in this form also. Based on this form, the question is framed. So let us take few questions. I think it is better to take from your note textbook so that you will have a feeling that we are within the boundary. See, everything we have discussed. What is solution? See, here it is given concentration of solution, amount of solute per unit amount of solution or this solvent. It is mass of solute by mass of solvent, mass by volume. See, everything is written in your book also. So also go through your book. Let us solve this question. Question number
2.1.
2.1. Though this question is very easy, but still we have to solve it.
Okay, sir.
Fully not copied, I think. Solution last was.
Okay, that is being cut. Okay, let me copy it again if you wish.
No, sir. Let it be.
Okay, let me once again copy it. इनको कहना है कि पूरा नहीं आया. So student, this is the numerical that you have to do. Please do it. It is very easy. So whatever given, how to solve numerical that I had already told you. How to approach any given numerical. Very first you have to note down whatever the data given in the symbol form. So a solution contain 40 gram of common salt in 320 gram of water. Here we are getting the common salt is in lesser amount. So common salt is like a solute. Its mass is given. So I can write mass of solute here. So what is the mass of solute? It is 40 gram. The another, it is dissolved in water, means the mass of solvent is given. It is our 320 gram. Means, are you getting what is this? It is, this situation is like this. So you have taken water like this. These are the water which is 320 gram, and in this some of the salt particle are there.
320 plus 40.
Yes, that
320
salt particle is,
360 gram.
Yes, sir.
so these are the salt. It is our common
40.
salt or NaCl that we are taking in our daily life. It is
40
our
gram.
40 gram. So if you take this entire solution, means what will the total mass? These two things are mixed
60
together. If you are putting it on the weighing machine, then the weight, what will the total weight? total mass.
360 gram.
Total mass of what? Total mass of solution.
360 grams.
Addition of these two.
Plus
So that
solvent.
will be addition of these two.
Solute plus
3
solvent.
gram plus 320 gram. So it becomes 360 gram. Okay. So that's what we have to keep in mind. So wherever these two things are given, you calculate. Therefore, mass of solution.
Mass of solution is equal to 360 gram.
So mass of the solute we have to take
360 grams.
in this way. Yes, I'm getting. So write it properly. Writing properly is equally important. Mass of solvent. Therefore, it is 40 plus 320. It can give us 360 gram. Now, what is required?
Mass percentage of
Mass
solution.
By mass percentage.
Mass of solution divided by mass of solvent.
Good. Percentage of solution that we want to calculate. What is that? That is the mass of solute.
By mass of solution into 100.
Good. So here we have to keep in mind it is the solution that have to be multiplied by 100. Mass of solution we have calculated. Above, mass of solute is already given as 40.
40 gram.
Divided by 360.
0.09 gram.
Very good. So this thing will be cancelled.
0.01%.
So
11.1.
11.1.
you just divide it. So it become 9. So it is like our 100 by 9%.
100 by 9.
If
Percentage.
you further divide it, you get 11.1%. Okay. So this is important. So this lastly you have to put this percentage sign. Okay. So ultimately this
Yes,
is the answer. So question is very simple. So this kind of question, I hope you people can do it. The student, any doubt in this? Otherwise, we have finished this solution.
No doubt.
Okay.
No doubt, sir.
Without, sir.
Now,
doubt, sir.
another small topic that we will discuss, how this solution or this dissolution varies with temperature. Say if you increase the temperature, the solubility increases. So type of solution, saturated, unsaturated, those things we have to just write a bit more. आपके बुक में देखिए इस पे बेस्ड और भी क्वेश्चन हो सकते हैं दैट यू आल्सो हैव टू डू हियर ओनली वन क्वेश्चन इज गिवन बट इन योर साइज में आप देखेंगे तो ऐसे क्वेश्चन मिलेंगे आपको करने रहेंगे
Okay, sir.
so let me just go through that quickly. So what are the various method of separation? That question is there.
Sir, not there, sir.
नहीं दिया हुआ है ओके कोई बात नहीं है बट ये एक ही क्वेश्चन दिया हुआ है इसमें आप बहुत सारे बन सकते हैं बस उसमें डेटा चेंज करने रहते हैं there is nothing else
चेंज करके
just by changing the data we can get it okay student तो easy है ये so concentration that we have discussed how the concentration is defined now in this solution we have learned that the solute get dissolved in solvent. Now how much solute will dissolve in a solvent that depends on various other factors. Okay, that is called dissolution or the factor affecting the dissolution. So what are the various factors which are affecting the dissolution? So right, factors affecting dissolution so this factor affecting dissolution mean In a solution, we have solvent and solute. Let us write the solute first and solvent. We have learned in a solution there could be different amount of solute in given amount of solvent. Okay, but there is a situation when you increase the addition of solute in given solvent, it will not dissolve further. Okay, example, say if you are taking just 1 liter of water, say 1 liter of water you are taking, and you are going to add the salt in this, or say sugar in this. You are continuously adding the sugar in this. How much sugar it can dissolve?
Sir, it can dissolve how much space is left, and when the space is full, then it cannot dissolve again.
Very good. So a student, so right here,
Only limited amount of sugar will dissolve.
yes. So what is that amount? What is that maximum amount? Just wait for a minute. So what is the maximum amount of solute that can be added in a solvent? That is called the saturation limit. So this is what this sugar added. You continue to add. Okay, then we can dissolve as long as all the spaces between the particles of water molecule is filled with sugar particle. Afterward, there will be no spacing between the water molecule. So if you add the sugar further, that will not dissolve, or that will not go in between the water particle, and that sugar particle will remain as it is, and that will again start collecting at the bottom. Okay?
It will increase mass.
It will increase.
Yeah, afterward the level of water will increase.
Yes, sir.
So the limit up to which this solute can be added in a solution decides the saturation limit. Okay, so right. So based on that, the solution is divided into two categories. One is called saturated solution, another is called as unsaturated solution. Okay, student. So on adding solute, the spacing between particles of solvent may get completely filled. And no further dissolution is possible. Dissolution means it is able to go in between the interparticle space. No further dissolution is possible. Based on this, the solution is classified into two categories.
Saturated and unsaturated.
Yes. So if the limit have reached, then there will be no further dissolution. That is called as saturated solution. If the limit is not reached, then further dissolution is possible. That is called as non-saturated. Saturated solution. And other one is called as unsaturated solution. Students, saturated solution are those solutions which contains or which have already dissolved the maximum amount of solute that it can. Okay, if we add further amount of solute, it will not dissolve, but rather it will just remain in the solution or settle at the bottom of the solution. Okay, student? Means no further dissolution of
Dissolution.
solute in solvent. In solvent or solution mean the same thing. Okay, student? Is allowed. That is adding more solute, it remain undissolved. It remain undissolved. Undissolved means what? That sugar cube will just settle at the bottom and that sugar layer is visible to you. Okay? And the solute become settle at bottom. Sometimes it is possible to even float also at bottom, so become visible. Okay, student? Example, if we consider like this one. This was the water that I was taking. So this is the water. So 1 liter I have just taken. And here you are adding the sugar. Then whatever the spacing available, all the spacings are filled. If I further add, it will just get here. Means if you are adding further this sugar particle, sugar added more. Added more. So these are what the sugar which are dissolved. Means that lies in between the interparticle of the water. These are what? Sugar undissolved.
Undissolved.
Even if you stir this bottom sugar, it will not again
It
suspend.
will not dissolve.
It will raise above and later on it will again settle down. So
Yes,
these undissolved are visible. But those which are dissolved, these are not visible. Okay, student? This thing you have to keep in mind. It is this situation. So maximum limit means the solute is present at its maximum limit. It means that simply solute dissolve to maximum limit. A student, if I heat this solution, then it is possible that some of the undissolved sugar will again dissolve. Means heating increases the dissolution capacity. So right, on heating means you are heating this in your kitchen, the dissolving capacity increases. This I will also write later. Increases. The other one, let us come for the unsaturated. A student, for unsaturated, what is this? Means all the interparticle space of the solvent is not filled with solute, so it is able to dissolve more solute. So when solution is able to dissolve more solute, that is saturation level have not reached. Saturation level is not reached. So in this case, all the spacing between solvent is not filled by solute. All spacing between solvent is not filled by solute. Therefore, even if we put more solute, it is able to dissolve in it. Okay, so particles are never visible. Particles are not visible. In this case, the undissolved particles are visible. So whatever undissolved particle, only they become visible. Okay, the question or the figure remains the same. So it is what saturated and unsaturated solution. A student, any student have any doubt? Then please tell me. Okay.
No, sir.
No, sir.
So
No, sir.
on heating, or heating means on rising temperature. On rising temperature, a student, this is asked quite frequently in your examination. On rising temperature of a solution, rising temperature means what? You are heating it. It simply means that If you are heating a solution, the dissolving capacity increases. Capacity
Decreases.
just write it. This pen tab now not working properly as we were used earlier. Capacity increases. So while dissolving capacity is increasing on heating, it means if you heat a saturated solution, it become unsaturated. ये क्वेश्चन बार बार पूछा जाता है. So on heating a saturated solution, it may become unsaturated. It is one thing. Just if we consider an unsaturated solution, then it will remain unsaturated. Okay? But if we consider for decreasing temperature on cooling, cooling means what? Decreasing temperature. The solution become what? Or the dissolving capacity of solution?
Decreases.
Very good. Decreases. So the dissolving capacity of a solution decreases. Okay, student? It is this one. That is what the alternative can be written. Even an unsaturated solution is cooled, then it is possible that it becomes saturated. Okay? Just reverse of this one. So if on heating a saturated solution, it was saturated solution. Okay, student? That is on cooling here.
On cooling a saturated solution, it may become saturated.
Very good.
Unsaturated.
On cooling an unsaturated solution, it may become
Saturated.
very good. So unsaturated to saturated.
Saturated, sir.
Yes. Okay, student. So these were the important thing regarding our solution. So we have learned about what is solution, various types of solution, then concentration of solution, then the type based on dissolving capacity. Okay?
Okay.
Dissolving capacity is expressed in the term of its concentration and how it varies with the temperature. Student, now it is the time to take the homework and to end the class. So write down the homework. Find the concentration in mass percentage write this question of solution having so this solution having say 60 gram of sugar in 440 gram of water. So 440 gram of water is given to you, and then you have to calculate it. Its concentration. It is one thing. Another, what in textbook we can do, the blue question of which page is?
12%.
I think now we can do some of them. So this question, I think I had already given you as the homework, this page, this question.
Yes, sir, homework done. It is done.
Okay, both 1 and 2 you have done?
Yes, sir. Both 1 and 2.
No, sir.
One question number 1 I had given earlier, but 2 I had not given because I had to explain what is homogeneous, heterogeneous, and last day I had discussed this. So you please do it at least today. If you have done it, it is very nice.
Okay, sir.
If not, then please do it. It is one part. The other thing, let
Okay,
me
sir.
check. Any other thing can also be do.
Yes, sir.
और भी हम कुछ कर सकते हैं क्या आगे?
Sir, maths.
What is suspension? Okay, suspension and other things are there. So let me explain it tomorrow. तो कल के क्लास के बाद हम आपको वो जो आगे का क्वेश्चन है ये आपको हम पूछेंगे. ठीक है स्टूडेंट?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, student, and what is about maths? Whether you people are doing the maths or not?
RC.
Doing, sir.
मैथ्स के कितने अपने एक्सरसाइज हो चुके हैं? एग्जाम्पलर सबका फिनिश हो चुका है क्या?
हाँ सर, आरसी भी खत्म हो गया।
Yes, sir. Completed example.
और ये आरसी बुक भी पूरा कंप्लीट हो गया है?
हाँ सर।
ओके,
कल
हम लोगों ने अपने आरसी बुक के ये चैप्टर 1 भी फिनिश कर चुके हैं ना? दैट वी हैव आल्सो फिनिश. Okay, so student, in WhatsApp I will send you some worksheet. This worksheet you have to do. Okay?
Which worksheet, sir?
Okay, sir. But which subject?
मैं आपको मैथ्स का थोड़ा सा वर्कशीट 5 और 10 क्वेश्चंस आई विल सेंड. ओके, दैट यू हैव टू डू.
Okay, sir.
हमने
Okay,
अपने
sir.
तो नोटबुक बनाई ही है, बट प्रैक्टिस के लिए जो आपके प्रीवियसली एग्जाम में पूछे हुए हैं दैट आई हैव कलेक्टेड एट वन लोकेशन, उसमें से मैं थोड़े से क्वेश्चन आपको दूंगा. यू हैव टू डू इट.
ओके सर.
Any more doubt to any student, then please ask. Otherwise,
No,
we are
sir.
going to stop the class.